Hi, my name is Sameer, and in this video I'll be talking about the ENPM 829T coursework offered at the University of Melbourne titled Autonomous Robotics.
This course goes in depth explaining the critical elements required for autonomy, that is perception, localization, path planning, and motion control.
The coursework also involves a unique robotics challenge called the Grand Challenge, which typically involves a theme. The theme for this year's course was vaccine distribution.
This was the arena for the Grand Challenge. The arena was envisioned as a vaccine distribution center where an autonomous robot could be deployed to deliver vaccines.
The vaccination center involved two main areas. Number one, the cold storage area, and number two, the injection area. In this Grand Challenge, the robot's task was to deliver 3 different vaccines from the cold storage area to the injection area. But here's the twist. All 3 vaccines were identified differently, and it was not known in prior which vaccine was to be delivered in which order.
Also, the robot had to be initiated with the help of an email, and the vaccines had to be delivered to an authorized person, which was performed using face detection.
Personally, I broke down the Grand Challenge into 4 different tasks. Number 1, grabbing the object from the cold storage area. Number 2, traveling all the way from the cold storage area to the injection area. Number 3, localization, and number 4, perception.
I will be talking about how I applied these fundamental concepts for autonomy on my robot for the Grand Challenge on these timestamps.
Now let's talk about how I designed my robot to compete for the Grand Challenge.
I utilized the Raspberry Pi 3B Plus, which was the brain for the robot. It gathered data from all the sensors which were connected to it and then processed them. I used 2 encoders, one present on each side of the robot to count the wheel revolutions. A camera was present at the center of the robot in such a way so that no other component of the robot could obstruct its field of view. My robot also had 2 ultrasonic sensors and a gripper to grab the vaccines. The first ultrasonic sensor present at the center was used to go near the vaccine and then grab it. This ultrasonic sensor ensured that the vaccine was physically present inside the grippers. And the second ultrasonic sensor was used to detect other obstacles such as walls and other static objects. My robot also had a IMU sensor to keep track of its orientation.
Now let's talk about the software.
All the code that was utilized in the Grand Challenge was just a part of all the homeworks that were assigned to us. These codes were modified a little bit, they were put into appropriate files and functions, and then unit testing was performed for each of the component of the robot. A main driver.py file was created which incorporated all the other unit functions that I've written for each and every component. For example, if I wanted to see if my IMU is working, I would simply import the IMU file. So I would type from IMU import get current angle and then simply run the get current angle function, which is present in the IMU.py file. This helped me a lot to perform unit testing and keep my files and folders organized. And this also helped me during debugging because I was able to pinpoint exactly in which file and in which function did that error occur. I also had to use calibration techniques for the ultrasonic sensor and my control loop, which made my robot go straight. For the ultrasonic sensor, I was getting a lot of random values when I initially turned on the robot. To fix this, I simply took an average of 10 ultrasonic value readings. This helped me smooth out my output values and I did not notice any noisy output. For calibrating the control loop, I had to tune out a lot of constants, but this took a lot of time. On top of that, these tuning values would also change if my battery levels are different. After some tedious tuning, I came to the conclusion that if my battery percentage was above 50, I would use a certain pair of constants, else I would use a different pair of constants. For the arena, I picked an area where my robot wheels would not slip or drag. I also made sure to mark some of the important areas, that is the injection area and the cold storage area, using some tape. I then used cardboard pieces to indicate the boundaries for my arena. In In my first attempt, my robot was successfully able to initialize via an email. It also was able to detect and decode the QR code and grab the first Pfizer vaccine. But my robot failed to update its current orientation, which is why you could see the robot turning around in circles. So in my first run, I was not able to deliver any vaccines. For my second attempt, I was able to deliver 2 out of the 3 total vaccines. My robot was able to initialize, detect and decode the QR and grab the J&J vaccine in the second run. For my path planning algorithm, I picked paths which required a minimal number of turns. This means my robot would always travel in a straight line for adjacent corners of the arena. QR codes and arrows were used for localization purposes throughout the arena. My robot was able to detect arrows using an arrow detection algorithm and the QR code using OpenCV's inbuilt QR code detector function. Images were captured for all the localization markers, and these images were sent back to the person who requested for the vaccines remotely. Here you can see my robot delivering the red vaccine, which is the Pfizer vaccine. I also detected any dynamic obstacles using the second ultrasonic sensor. Here you can see me standing in front of the robot. The robot detects this using the ultrasonic sensor and would stop in such scenarios. Since I was keeping a track of the position and the orientation of my robot at each and every corner, I was able to plot its trajectory. These were the results for my run 2 in the Grand Challenge. My robot was able to deliver both the Pfizer and J&J vaccine. It was able to localize with the help of QR and arrows during both of these cycles. For the Pfizer vaccine, it took me around 5 minutes 15 seconds. And for the J&J vaccine, the entire cycle took me around 4 minutes and 53 seconds. If I was able to take the Grand Challenge again, I would like to make certain improvements to my robot. For example, I would have made my turns much more faster, more smoother and much more accurate. I would have also made my robot a bit more tidier using some zip ties and made sure everything was permanently fixed to the robot. And now to end the video, here's a quick time lapse from the robot's perspective for you to enjoy.